Hello everybody and welcome to this session. We're really pleased you've joined us. My name's Abigail Boddy and I'm joined here with Kath Carré, my colleague. In this session we'd like to share with you our experiences of co-headship. We didn't set out to be co-heads. In fact, like you, we didn't really know that it was a thing before we embarked on this journey together. However, we're really glad that it happened. And what we wanted to do was share our experiences with you, and we wanted to open up the conversation. We wanted to continue the discussion, the dialogue about alternative models of leadership and models that differ from the norm but are no less powerful.
Hello. We're going to start with a bit of a backstory, and the reason for this is what I'm about to describe has a crucial part to play in what ended up being one of the key factors of our successful working relationship as co-heads. It all started when, quite unusually, both of us took up post at almost the same time. And this is important because, if you like, we were setting off from the starting blocks together, and we were instantly bonded and working to look after each other as we navigated our way through our new school. We were replacing much loved and experienced excellent deputy heads, so that was a challenge. And then alongside the excitement we felt about starting our new roles was the enormity that everyone feels when taking up a new post in a new school. However, starting together in this way resulted in us quickly developing a really close working relationship that actually made establishing ourselves and the improvements that we wanted to bring to the school much easier. Why? We had a critical friend to run the initiatives by that we wanted to introduce. We tried to break them first, being comfortable with arguing each other, actually, testing each other's thinking so that what we took to the whole school was refined and robust. We could cover the blind spots. You know, we were at a huge school and schools have so many idiosyncrasies and they're really difficult to navigate in the early days, and it's far too easy to miss things. Well, we had two sets of eyes, two sets of ears, and it really helped. Getting it right, we did make mistakes, but we were always there to leap in and work together to put it right. It makes me think immediately of our first Christmas. We'd had our first term absolutely exhausted on our knees, and I'd completely forgotten that I'd been asked to arrange the staff Christmas Carol concert for the last day, a huge tradition at NSG. I remembered round about lunchtime on the last day, so I could quickly run into Abby's office, have a complete meltdown, panic attack. She got the smelling salts out, slapped me around the face a few times, and we then instantly leapt into action. By 3:30, we had 100 mince pies. We'd bribed the music department to play carol concert without any rehearsal, and we think we got away with it. The reason why I'm telling you this, because the most important result that we want to share today of all of those experiences and developing that close partnership so quickly is the professional trust we develop for each other. And this was the absolute linchpin, the crucial foundation for our venture into co-headship.
So 2017 ran into 2018 and 2019, and we settled into life at NSG, and we thrived in our roles as deputies. We were able to see demonstrable change within the school. System change brought tightness, robustness, accountability. We saw results improve, and we felt established and happy and content in our roles. We became part of the fabric of the school, Carré Abigail partners in crime. And we were immensely enjoying these roles as deputies in an outstanding school. When out of the blue, our head teacher announced she's retiring. Now, you might think we're naive, but actually she was young. We thought she had many years ahead of her in the school, and so we were surprised. In fact, I would go as far as to say we were flabbergasted, and that doesn't happen that often. Well, the hunt for the new head began, but because of a range of reasons, the governors were unable to recruit a new head teacher for the summer term. And the governors look to us to step up. You know, you're given the title deputy, you take on that role in name, but actually some days it becomes a reality. And so after lots of conversations and some soul searching, we suggested co-headship to them.
So we knew we could have applied for the role individually, but we both took the decision not to. We were actually really happy in our roles. We'd learned so much already, and we felt we were operating really effectively and actually having the impact we wanted to as deputy heads. So when this opportunity came up, we had a long talk, and actually we decided if we were going to do it, we'd do it together. We loved our working relationship and we loved working at peers, and we knew that's what made us highly, highly effective and allowed us to really enjoy the job. Work-life balance. We'd watched our head work truly punishing hours. I mean, we worked long and hard, but what she was doing was really quite incredible. And then, in all honesty and in no small measure, imposter syndrome. We had self-doubt, and we'd only been deputies for 2 years, and you know, starting to feel really strong in our roles. Were we ready for the next step? Well, the governors were absolutely incredible, really supportive, as was the outgoing head, who gave us quite a lot of coaching, and through them we were given this chance to run with this unusual model.
About is working in partnership. We have no experience of job share. What we have is a partnership that is perhaps more akin to business. We started to investigate these partnerships because in practice co-headship is quite rare. However, there are some really, really successful examples out there, and we were able to meet and connect a variety of people. For example, some primary colleagues through the Women in Ed conference. Rachel Warwick was great. We met her up at the ASCO conference, and she was able to put us in touch with other partnerships so that we could go and we could meet and we could talk with. And with each of those partners, we had really open and quite candid conversations about the benefits and the highs of partnership working, but also those potential pitfalls. And the colleagues talked with us anecdotally about examples of things that had gone really, really well, but also examples of things that hadn't worked. And it was perhaps these non-examples that were really useful in terms of our prepping and our preparation for the secondment. Working successfully in partnership, in essence, is down to a single shared vision. You have to walk in partnership together to make this work. But also you need a willingness to think and work differently. Schools are really, really traditional institutions. You know, we have one teacher in the classroom, we have a single head teacher leading the school. And that's a model that isn't necessarily always replicated in other aspects of work. Cass talked already about professional trust, and an absolute and unswerving professional trust is what I would describe as being vital if you're going to be able to work closely in partnership. And with that, not only the trust, but actually a really good, strong working relationship. And the ability to laugh rapidly and regularly is also really helpful. So working successfully in partnership, in essence, works best where the combination of talents, and we do bring different talents, we have a very different skill set, means that the sum is way more than the value of the individual parts that each of the people in the partnership bring.
Yes, so what we found was working in partnership allowed us also to respond really quickly to the unexpected. So, for example, 30 minutes before the end of the day, found that the only road to the school was closed, and we had 1,750 students to get to their buses somehow. So together we could work really speedily and confidently to reroute the buses and actually get some of the troops to get all of our students across the fields to the new location for our buses. Calorex, who knew? No idea what they were until we were in post, but what we do now know is that they cost £50,000 to replace. 2 broken limbs, not ours, However, they happened within a week of each other and so complicated, never knew how much that would involve in terms of working with our families and risk assessments there. And dealings with the environmental health. It so happened that unbeknownst to us, our science block was making phantom noises throughout the night, keeping our neighbours awake. We weren't very popular at that time.
So, and of course, you know what's coming next, don't you? Then came COVID. March 15th was a day of which teacher training does not prepare you. And we've never valued our working relationship, our working partnership more. We've been really grateful for the ACL Framework for Ethical Leadership in Education, which was an initiative that we both committed to and worked within throughout this period. And it guided us through our decision making during this rapidly changing, this rapidly emerging and complex pandemic. It helped us take our large, diverse 11 to 18 PFI school community through what was a national crisis with objectivity, courage and optimism. The constant flow of government updates and guidance and the need for snap decisions and responses to health and safety issues that affected both our school students and also the 150 members of staff would have been a lot to bear on one's shoulders. And we really do take our hats off to single heads in standalone academies through this period who've done a tremendous job. Throughout this period, we did have the unique opportunity and the really important opportunity, though, to talk to each other as equals, and in a way that a head and a deputy can't always do. And often we were there making plans into the night after yet another U-turn by the government. But it was good because we were able to make those decisions in a series of checks and balance and make those decisions together.
Through our experience, we've identified the following strengths of the Co-Head model. Speed and efficacy of decision making, and that's facilitated by having a critical friend. We were secure in our partnership and our shared vision, which was all around wanting the very, very best for the students at our school. We were not in competition with each other. And our secure partnership allowed us to test each other's thinking, trying to break plans, to check their robustness before taking them forward. We took strength from each other, especially when standing side by side, as we made announcements to concerned and worried staff and students, knowing that we didn't yet have the answers to many of their questions. Two of us gave greater reach. Between us, we could almost be all things to all people. The head could literally be in two places at once. As our time as co-heads has now ended, we have reflected. We know through all of our incredible learning and that experience, we are both strong candidates for sole headship. Nonetheless, our combined skills, experience, along with the mutual support we can offer each other, makes co-headship the standout proposition for us. We were unsuccessful in our joint application at the end of our interim placement, but to be honest, thinking back, it all happened so fast. We weren't really mentally prepared at that time for putting a really robust proposition forward. But now we've had time to think and plan. Now our imposters have been allayed. We will certainly go for it again. And our final message, we urge the educational community to think creatively about leadership structures, to throw the door open to talented leaders who want to be better together. Thank you. Thank you.